So something happened last night that has never happened before. Um, as a writer, it's always been easy for me to receive like whole chunks of information, whole chunks of text. It's something I've always been really gifted at. I didn't really have to try when it came to any kind of writing. It's like these whole, like a steady stream just trickles in, and that's how I've been able to write a lot of things. And anywho, I've been studying a lot. A lot of you know that in my life I've really gone through a revolutionary recovery process, a complete life 180. I am 1,000% different than the person I ever was before. When I lived in LA for 13 years, and people who know me, I have described it as like a bomb went off, and all of a sudden I was a different person and on a different path, and changed the way I ate, changed my outlook, and meditating and gratitude and all the work that you hear, like how to do the work, healing and all that. A lot of people are doing that, and that's time to. What I experienced last night was channeling. Something came through. I know what it looks like because I've seen it before. I've had a subscription to Gaia. I watch those kinds of shows. I listen to the theories. I know that we do not exist alone. I don't. Never seen any other thing. Thank goodness. I think they know I can't handle that. Very sensitive creature, but yeah, something definitely came through, and I'm trained in quantum healing hypnosis, and when you do that, you do open a direct link to the subconscious. Not that this is a new thing, because I have done a lot of meditations, and when you meditate, you get messages. People call them downloads. The downloads happen, and it's really helped me. That's why I've been able to be an astrologer and a tarot reader, because these things just come through. And I love that I can do that to help people, especially on an intimate one-on-one basis. But what came through last night was something that needs to be heard by more people than just the people that I bump into in my circle. So I know that this will make its way to the right ears and hearts that need it. So I'm going to link to the audio. But I was lying in. I couldn't sleep, so I ended up, making a little camp bed for myself in the middle of the floor, which I do sometimes. And I've been having this ringing in my left ear for a while. A lot of us get that, and the spiritual woo-woo communities like to say that it means a frequency adjustment, and it does. So I wanted to, engage that, acknowledge it, be like, okay, yes, I hear that this is happening. Let's, you can do a visualization where you turn the dial down. I've heard it didn't work. There was something that needed to come through. Also, before this happened, I've over the last year been having a series of geometric pattern dreams that have increased in complexity. So maybe last autumn of 2022, like autumn of 2022, I would see really simple ones. Just a square, just a basic square, two-dimensional flat box line, like a stick figure, but a square like that. And over the year of 2023, they became slowly more complex. So just a square to like a series of triangles to more dimensions being added to it. And then the last one was like a full-scale mandala. And also, if the first one was like black with a white square, the mandala was like pastel neon, vibrating. And yeah, so I've heard some things about these are just packed messages with so much information that the human mind is incapable of grasping all at once. I'm gonna keep it that way, but it does start to integrate into your everyday life and consciousness. I feel okay. I was a lot more thirsty than I ever was. I was a lot more thirsty than I usually am in the morning after all this happened, but I'm going to link to the audio. The message was about what is occurring right now as far as the shift. A lot of the things that have been on my mind have had to do with it's something that we're kind of all feeling. If you're watching this, definitely, it's this sensation of I'm still in this physical world. I'm doing the things. I'm doing my job, but I feel distanced from it. There's a literally like you feel like divorced, like literally you no longer resonate, and there's this feeling of like I'm here, but I'm not here, and I'm not supposed to be here. Like I'm here because I'm supposed to be here, 3D, right? I'm here because I'm supposed to be here. I'm here at my job because I'm supposed to be at this job. This is what I do. I'm here at this grocery store because this is where I buy my food. I'm here at this coffee shop because this is where I go get coffee, and I know these people, and they're very nice, and we're all friendly, and you're bopping around doing your day-to-day community things, and you're starting to realize like this doesn't feel right. There's something that this no longer feels like I don't even at home. Like it doesn't feel like where I'm supposed to be. It doesn't feel like the right fit anymore. There is a like a plug. So like you have a plug and a socket. And if you are the plug and the world, the day-to-day life that you have is the socket. Here, there's one right here. I'm gonna grab just for the visual. So, plug. If you are the plug and your day-to-day life is the socket, and you're like, oh, I plug into the socket. And normally the socket, you plug into the socket and you're right in the holes and everything fits and it works. Like there's an even exchange of energy. And now it's like your plug is being slowly pulled from that socket, and there's still a little bit of electricity energy transfer happening. You're like, yeah, it still like technically fits. It's still technically the same shape, and they technically still, they're made for each other, but there's like a distance now. So instead of being like all the way plugged in, now it's like you're like, oh wait, no, yeah. Instead of being like all the way plugged in, you can't see the prongs anymore. Now it's like, oh, we're starting to pull out. You know how that happens where like a plug can be kind of in, like if you have an iPhone charger and it's all the way plugged in and you're like, great, but then sometimes you go and look at it and it's like that, it's like hanging out. It's loose. It still works, but it's not flush anymore. Like that's what's happening now. I'm noticing it, and a lot of people that I talk to when I do tarot readings at the farmer's market, there's just that lack. It's like I don't feel like I'm fully plugged in anymore. Yeah, in as few words as possible. I don't feel like I'm fully plugged in anymore, and I don't think we're supposed to. So this message addresses what that feeling is directly responsible for that feeling, and the subtle things that we're feeling and the choice that is to be made. Also the outside influences negative that are guiding this, and then the internal influences that we need to be paying attention to very closely. Something that was also emphasized is the importance of connection. So I would normally be terrified to share something like this that happened and be like, oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to, share this, but the interconnectedness and the coming together of people who are aware of these things is so crucial and important, and I cannot not put this out there. So thank you for bearing with me on this 10-minute path so far, this preamble. The message itself felt longer, but it was only about 9 minutes. And there's also a very important bit about relationships. The nature of human relationships is changing. The nature of love and partnership is changing. Whereas before, there was a duality and like marriage. So I was asking, because I've been, dating and contemplating what my romantic future is going to look like. It's human. I'm 33 and, single and a very interesting person these days. So it's hard to find somebody that resonates. Resonance is key. I said that. Resonance is key. And yeah, I'm just kind of in a curious space of what love and partnership and dating and romance look like. And in this ever changing weirdo world we're in, and I know a lot of people that come to me for tarot readings and astrology readings, they're also, like, love life. What do we do with our love lives? Because the model that we were given as children no longer applies. And I've had this sensation since I was very young that the world that I was born into, I am going to watch be destroyed. And it was never like an ominous or like a dread thing, but it was just like an acceptance, a knowingness. Like, you know that you're going to grow up one day. Like, you know that you're going to not be a kid forever. One day you're going to be a grown up. I knew that one day the world around me was not going to be the same. And people born in the late 80s, early 90s, they kind of understand this. We are very plainly in the end of one era of our human society, and it happens cyclically. Like, I think every 84 years or something, there's a big something, and then life is not the same after that. Like, the Great Depression was one, the World Wars were another, and we're in another end of a cycle right now. But it will change the way that human relationships are in a very beautiful way. And yeah, it was overall a very positive message, and I'm happy to share it. And thank you. And I'm here. You can contact me. I will put a Google Voice number and an email at the end of this. Maybe not a Google Voice number. I don't know. But, or comment on this, because I know that we need to keep one another in connection and have open lines of communication with people who are aware of this, because no one's going to get through this alone, and we're not designed to. So, with much love and many thanks, enjoy this message that came through my body at 4:25 in the morning.
Why are my ears ringing? There are those of us who are noticing that we are vibrating above the patterns that we previously belonged to. Places and locations, flower pot, muffins I can't eat anymore. Just the energy is lifting and becoming more subtle. The image I'm seeing is like we're strapped into this current earth, like sitting on an airplane, and the seatbelt, the seatbelt sign, the fasten seatbelt sign, and it's just been on forever since we've been born. It's the only way we've ever known. Now all of a sudden, you didn't hear the chime, but you can feel like it's time to take the seatbelt off. It's time to take the seatbelt off. And there are those of us who are recognizing that it's time to unclick, to float away from, to distance ourselves, to pull, I mean, just, letting it, not that we're floating away, and also just letting it fall away. There's a voluntary separation happening. We're making choices, subtly, etherically feeling the fact that situations no longer require one track, one mind. Outer beings interfere with how the universe is taking shape. Not in ways that are meant to hold back but in ways that are meant to suppress. Mechanisms for revival, rebirth are being harvested. Understanding that you possess such mechanics is crucial to how Earth will survive. Understanding that you are gifted and in need of support from one another and each other is essential. How you choose to pursue your path forward is up to you, but it will not be something that is discussed openly, not be made aware to how you operate. Not everything you read in here is intelligible, is in support. Not everything you read in here is insight. Not everything you read in here is in intelligence. Not everything you read in here is intelligence in the rudimentary sense of the word. Some of it is misguiding. Not everyone will be aware of the shift, but internally, something is being guided, redirected. Some are opting to stay in the density and not take place in new earth, new creation. Some are choosing the path of disease, to succumb to disease because it feels like the proper completion of karmic paths, not what they can ascertain, not what they can ascend to in this lifetime. The nature of relationships is changing. No longer bound by possession. Possession of another human is the lowest form of relating. It is the greatest sin to deny, coerce, withhold, compromise another human's ability, innate, natural ability to make choices. Marriage was a fixture of the Piscean era and something that necessary at the time to understand what it's like to be in union. When the understanding was such that Earth is made of duality, this was necessary to recognize the opposites, opposing aspects of masculine and feminine in another being. What is occurring now is a unveiling that humans are free-flowing energy beings and not tied to having one partner. There are dimensions of you that can mate with several others in different aspects: soul, body, feeling. Resonance is the key. Resonance. You can have physical resonance with sexual partners and enjoy that experience together. You can have emotional resonance with emotional partners and share that resonance together. You can have spiritual partnerships with spiritual partners and share that resonance together. It is a beautiful spectrum of unity in many forms and aspects. There are rays of light cascading from each and every one of you, and each of these color spectrum wavelengths is able to correspond and correlate and connect to other humans. You are a prism. You see a prism of beautiful golden light. Do you see the rainbows you are made of? How you catch and kiss the light. Each of these beautiful rays is able to connect with another. That is why it is shaped as such. Guidance. Guidance from within is here. It calls you in the correct direction, and not everyone you call love now will make it being the destination you choose. I hope this helps. Thank you. Who do I share this with? Not everyone can take it, obviously. Some will hear part. Some will discern the rest based on the limited portions you divulge. Some will not need any of it.